Hi guys, this is just entertainment purposes, not investment advice. I'm just looking at Ark Investment because of the fact that they're in the news recently based on a big bold prediction on Bitcoin. But one of the main things is, as I said, this is not meant for investment advice. If you wanted to seek investment advice, I suggest that you go to a licensed person within your jurisdiction. And I am not licensed, and all I'm taught really for entertainment purposes and evaluating past performance. And just to say, past performance of a security is not indicator or prediction of future performance, right? So after we got that out of the way, so a few days ago, Bloomberg has a clip out there of Bloomberg analyst asking Cathie Wood, who runs the Ark Investment Fund, about her prediction she made a few years ago that Bitcoin would get to $1 million by 2030. Now, one of the things is Cathie was not enthusiastic about answering this question. She was she did not answer it outright direct. But one of the main things was, I started to say, let's look at her performance of her funds in the past. And so, I pulled, it's all available. You can look at their main fund, Ark, ARKK. And so I pulled it, just went to Google Finance and looked at the 5-year, and it's down a little over 1% over 5 years. Now, this is underperforming the market because I normally use SPY. It's an ETF, SPY, which normally tries to mimic as much as they can the S&P 500. And SPY is up 54%. She is down a little over 1%. Now, SPY is supposed to be there, you just leave it and you're diversified and all that stuff, and you're doing better. A person is doing better than someone who is actively managing it and telling you about all these fancy companies and all this stuff. So sometimes I always look at it and go, why am I listening to these folks? Anyhow, then I went to Nasdaq, which has a bit more of the more technology companies, heavily weighted in technology companies, and that's the ETF QQQ. And when I looked at it, that's up 84% over 5 years. So my question, for people, like Cathie Wood, why should I listen to you? Because your fund is down. Anyhow, so I started to look at other things, and I started to look at Bitcoin. And surprisingly, Bitcoin is up 52% over the last. Well, Bitcoin moves so violently, but this is at 11 o'clock on the 23rd of November. Who the hell knows where Bitcoin will be tomorrow or even the next hour, right? And with such a high risk asset, it's still underperforming the market. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, with all these people who are, telling people that all this stuff is going to the moon. All this, in this information age, the average person can just go on, log into Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, or anything like that, and they can see the 5-year performance of practically any traded asset. And that's the important thing that I do. I try to trust but verify. These are definitely interesting times with FTX, and we're seeing basically, a company that a few weeks ago was considered to worth 32 billion. Now it's bankrupt. And when you look at all of that stuff, and you look at all the advice, well, I don't even think they call it advice. They're just making grandiose statements out there. A lot of times what always concerns me most is after they like you look at the Ark fund, people got excited a few years ago, and look at that now, right? 1 year Ark is down 66%. Now think about it. Someone woke up one day and they're excited. They hear someone on the news. They hear how great they are and all of that stuff. And just imagine they take their nest egg. Let's say it's $100,000. They nest egg something that they're hoping to retire on, or that, and then they take their nest egg and throw it in there, and it was worth $100,000, and then today they only have a little over $33,000 to show for it. And that's something that concerns me most, because one of the things I do is always go and just look at someone's past performance. And I can tell you, you know, it's very rare that you find people with good, you know, performances. You know, we all know, you know, hear about Warren Buffett. You know, years ago it was Peter Lynch with the Magellan fund and all of that stuff. But you know, that's really scarce and, you know, there. And you know, I wish that that's something more that people, you know, that would be there more clear. I guess because the information is there, it's expected that people would utilize it and go and look at it. But it's all there, you know. And so I like to listen to what someone says, but then I like to research for myself, because I like to know, you know, how right was this person in the past. Not to say that it would mean that they'll be right in the future, but I normally believe that you should be able to explain why you were wrong. And I think in explaining why you're wrong, you should answer the question, how sure are you that you're right today? Because you're wrong yesterday. And you know, these are questions that I ask. But anyhow, I just wanted to quickly cover this. I mean, I plan to do more of these in more long form videos, because guess what guys, I have a lot of different interests, and this is one of them. You know, I'm one of those guys that are a little eclectic. I like the Chiefs, I like the Tennessee football team. You know, I like a lot of different things. I like to talk about celebrity news, and I like to talk about investments and all that stuff. And you know, it's all of it is just, this is how I have fun, this is how I think. And you know, if you like this, like and subscribe. I mean, I'm going to do more of this, and I'm going to keep doing my celebrity stuff, because you know, it's interesting to talk about a lot of different things, right? So you know, like and subscribe. Thanks guys.